I'm Barbara Iacometti. I'm the president of the OBMA, and I'm here to welcome you all for coming to our annual breakfast marketing meeting. Usually we get to come have breakfast and coffee with each other and kind of chat it up a little bit, but today we can sit and relax and enjoy our coffee and breakfast together while we let Chloe teach us what we need to know about keeping in contact with our clients and our customers. So without further ado, here's Chloe.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm the digital marketing specialist over at Brown. I handle everything from paid search, paid social, organic social, and SEO campaigns. And I am here to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to connect with your clients during this crazy time. So if we want to go over to the next slide, I want to talk about business updates, a free social media marketing resource list, and content ideas for when you're fresh out of ideas. As far as business updates are concerned, I think that with the kind of roller coaster of opening and reopening, it's definitely shed a light on some kinks in the system as far as making sure that your hours are being updated and that people know how to reach you during this time. I know that at the beginning, there were lots of people who were scrambling and, coming to the realization that, oh my goodness, I don't even remember my password for my Google My Business account or things like that. And so kind of going through a checklist of what you should be updating as these waves of closures occur. And I think, I hope that we're kind of towards the end of that, but just in case, we have a checklist for you to go through on the next slide. So first off, changing your website hours, wherever that may be. So on your website itself, within your Google My Business account, and then in your Yelp account, TripAdvisor, all of those mediums where your business information is online. And then also on your social profiles. I think that, as much as it is important to have it on your website, is equally important to have on your social. And the thing about social is that, your posts are seen in the feed, but then they also live on your page. So it's really important to have a highlight section on your Instagram that lists out your hours so that people can constantly reference it, and also having the date that it was posted last. So if you updated your hours, October 15th, have it say that on your Instagram highlight, listing the hours that you're open, and then that way people can reference, if they have the most up-to-date information. Not only on Instagram, but keeping it on Facebook, making sure that you're posting that information in your business listing information on your Facebook business page, and then posting about it within your actual feed. Updating your Google My Business account, I think, is probably the most important of all the mediums as it relates to how you populate in search. When you go to update your hours in Google My Business, it's also very important, and I see it happen quite often, that people are not posting updates as a post within Google My Business. A lot of people just simply change their hours, but you can post updates saying, hi, we've changed our hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to noon to 4 or something like that. And then you can even include a call to action button that allows them to visit the website to see any other updates that you may have on there. And that just helps you to improve your rankings in search, as well as get in contact with your clients. So that is definitely something that you want to make use of. If you are a restaurant or a retail business owner, making sure that your hours on Yelp have been updated as well. And then this relates specifically to restaurant business owners, but making sure that your menus and your hours are also up to date on third-party delivery sites. And the one thing that I think can be a challenge with all of these updates is that there are so many different mediums across which you have to make these changes. And so a resource that I would love to suggest to everyone is a software called Yext. I found this to be very useful at the beginning of the pandemic. So you can essentially, within one platform, make all of these changes, and Yext will then update that for you across TripAdvisor, Yelp, Google My Business, and an array of platforms that they have a partnership with, including DoorDash and Uber Eats and Postmates. So it's, instead of having to go in manually and make all of those changes, with that software, you're able to go ahead and make those changes from one platform and have it affect all of the rest. And it kind of takes the work out of it. It's a pretty relatively low cost software, which is great, especially for people who may not have, 12 or 15 locations. If you have one business location, it makes it really cost effective for your business. So that is a great resource to use. And then I just wanted to mention some free social media marketing resources. I think probably the two of the ones that you see listed here that I use most often are going to be Canva and Later. These are really useful for me in terms of batch creating content and kind of scheduling it out for a month in advance. You could schedule it out even further. And then some options that are similar to those. So Canva is going to be used for content creation. An option similar to that is going to be Trello. I feel like I would hope that a lot of people know what Canva is. So I think that, the designs within Trello kind of give you a second option, as opposed to what might be a little more mainstream with Canva. So I like that option as well. Planoly is another scheduling tool that allows you to schedule content, and it also allows you to see it visually. It's a nice tool to use. I like it best in the app format and not so much on a desktop computer. But for Later, which is also a much more popular content scheduling tool, that one has a desktop feature where you can schedule posts, and has integration with Facebook and basically all of the social platforms. So within Later, they give you there's no free trial per se. What's great about Later is that there is just a standard free package that you can use if you want to post to just one account. And, there are some variations, like you can't leave, for Instagram, hashtags within the first comment. It has to be within the caption. But I've found that having your hashtags in the caption actually improves engagement. So that's kind of something that we're seeing as a trend with posting to keep in mind. I think Later is probably the best of the content scheduling tools. And once I'm done discussing with you about MailChimp, I will give you guys a run through of another content scheduling tool, Sprout Social, which is my favorite. MailChimp is just a great resource that has a free option as well to allow you to send emails and kind of see the open rates and how well they're doing, to see who's clicked through to your website, and just another way to keep in contact with your clients during this time. So another great resource. I will share my screen and run you guys through Sprout Social. So can everyone see my screen? So this is Sprout Social, and this is what your dashboard would look like. This is a relatively new account that I created for this demo, so you won't be able to.
Chloe, it's Kristen. We don't see Sprout Social. We still see the presentation.
Oh, okay.
If you're seeing Sprout Social, yeah.
Let's see. Let me try sharing this again.
Maybe I'll stop my sharing, Chloe. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
So let me stop my share. There we go.
Okay, great. So this is Sprout Social, and this is our dashboard. And because I created this account relatively new for our purposes today, you won't be able to see any, reporting insights just yet, but you can see reports here. And it gives you the ability to provide strategy insights, a competitive analysis. You can see how well your content is doing and on different mediums, right? So you've got YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And then there is engagement reporting and task performance. It allows you to collaborate with other people on your team. Just great reporting overall. I think that's one of the best features about Sprout Social. And then there's listening. Social listening allows you to hear what clients are saying about you online in social platforms, which is an amazing tool to kind of understand what they're looking for, what their overall view is of your business. But I'll go to publishing. So I have this connected to the Brown Instagram just for purposes of showing you guys how this works. So it's really nice. It has this calendar feature. You can view it, list, week, month, and you can schedule out content accordingly. You would just go here and click on a new post. You select a profile. We can do a Facebook page. We can do our LinkedIn, Instagram. You can add a plethora of social media accounts. It's not just for Instagram. You can do YouTube as well. Great resource. You can enter a caption. I think for the post that I have to show you guys today, it's kind of a funny one about Zoom. I could say, I'm always on mute. And then you can add your images here, upload an image, and this is the one we've chosen today. If your image doesn't fall within the guidelines for the platform that you're using, it'll notify you, and then you can edit it within here, make changes to it, put a filter on it, things like that. They make emojis available. And then you pick a time to post. So if we wanted to post today at, 11 a.m., I can schedule it and put it on there. It'll show up as a preview for 11 a.m., right? And it's a pretty simple platform. I like using this to kind of batch schedule things. So that way, I'm not having to think about it every day. Oh, did we post today? Did we miss National Margarita Day? Things like that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And then, Kristen, if you want to bring back the PowerPoint. So then the other issue that I see happening a lot is that, with the pandemic, the need for social media managers, kind of the luxury of having someone manage your content for you has been done away with. A lot of people are having to manage these social media outlets on their own. So, you're talking about a business owner now trying to take on the creative role of creating content for their company, which can be, it's hard enough for us creatives to come up with content every day, and sometimes we get creatively stuck. So even I use this list to kind of refer to when I'm struggling to create content for a client, just to kind of get those creative juices flowing and like, oh yeah, we could post something like that, So number one is the top tips for what you do. So whether you are a realtor or you work in like legal services, anything like that, you can write a blog post on the top tips for what you do. So let's say you are a realtor, maybe it's your top tips for a successful open house. You can write a blog on that. You can create an infographic, make sure you have fresh cookies out, or make sure that the house smells nice, things like that, and put it in a visual representation and post that on social media, or you can do a how-to video on it. Just kind of giving people an insight into something that they don't understand about your industry and how you can help them through that. So the second one is to hit them with the facts. Fact posts or statistics are always a great way to get people intrigued about what it is that you do. Sometimes you can share a statistic and people will be like, oh, wow, I had no idea. For example, according to Hootsuite, how-to tutorials are the most popular form of Instagram video content. So think about some of the most interesting facts or statistics about your business and then turn them into a post. Chances are your followers will find it interesting too. The third content idea is to answer a frequently asked question. I think a lot of the content that we end up coming up with answers these questions that our clients have. How do I get more traffic to my website? Or how do I connect better with my clients via social? Answering questions that our clients may ask us in social posts, whether that be a video or a static image, is a way to create content that your clients will find interesting. And then my fourth tip is to just, get real. Share some behind the scenes content, show them what it's like in a day in your life, walk them through your work from home routine, or, take them behind the scenes on site. Creating behind the scenes content can help facilitate a connection between you and your followers. A great example of this comes from an Instagram account that I personally follow. It's called Carrie Elizabeth Jewelry. And she has an entire Instagram highlight that's dedicated to her gem sourcing process for all of the jewelry that she designs. And I personally find that really cool and interesting. And it just kind of gives you a taste into what it's like to be a jewelry designer, right? It's not something that you get to see every day. So if there is anything that you find interesting about what you do behind the scenes, or that you think that, your customers might want to view and get a look at that behind the scenes action, I would encourage you to put it up there. Social proof is always a good form of content to be sharing. 97% of customers read customer reviews and look for recommendations on Instagram prior to making a purchase. So I would make use of people who have worked with you in the past, using their reviews as social media content. And if you can even convince someone to record themselves talking about your products or services, even better. Next would be company culture. I think this is kind of like my golden ticket. So whenever we have a client who's like, well, I work in legal services, like nothing's really exciting about that. What can I share that is going to get people excited about legal services? Not every industry is glamorous. And at the end of the day, it's much more fun to browse and look at clothes or gadgets on Instagram than it is to, browse through the posts of your local plumber. But you can focus on company culture. And I think that is such a great piece of content for people who have those industries that are, you know, maybe not as glamorous. So the people that you work with, I'm sure that there's plenty of interesting things about them. And like I said, taking them through their day, posting team member bios, asking them interesting questions about themselves, showing what it's like to work for your company and why it's so great. Make your people within your industry, within your company, your social power, and highlight their accomplishments is a great way to kind of tackle that content issue there. For the next two content ideas, quotes are, I feel like, you know, we see them all the time on social media, and you would think that they would get old, but quote posts are just always the most engaging form of content. Anytime we post quotes on Instagram, we're always seeing shares and saves and likes, and it just doesn't get old. It's just, you know, they're relatable and engaging, and they also help you create a brand voice. So if you can't show it, say it. Even if your post isn't getting many comments, it's almost guaranteed to get shares, and you can view that in your insights. I think you would be pretty surprised at how much those quotes are shared. Stock imagery. This is kind of a touchy subject. I feel like in the past, stock imagery was kind of poo-pooed, and people really didn't want to make use of it in their content, especially on Instagram. But this has become even more popular now. You can see a lot of like high-end brands doing this as well. They're making use of stock imagery. In fact, later, the software that I showed you guys for content scheduling, they've collaborated with a website called Unsplash, where you can pull Unsplash stock imagery and incorporate it straight into your later feed. And so it's becoming increasingly more popular. And so long as it matches the brand story and I guess the overall aesthetic of your Instagram account specifically, then this is a great resource as well. But I think most importantly, as you are coming up with content ideas, listen to your followers, and I would encourage you to use your insights and analytics to measure what content is performing the best and to continue to create more of that. And with that, I think we are done with my portion of the slides.
Hi, guys. Let's see here. Thank you, Chloe. So you guys will have some time for questions and answers, Q&A for Chloe in just a couple minutes. And then I do know that there was some questions in the chat room that I will address also. So just give me one moment and we'll go over this. Perfect. So we're going to keep this really short today. It won't be our really, extensive annual marketing breakfast, but we just wanted to remind everybody that's on here, because you guys are OBMA members, that there are exclusive member opportunities. The OBMA office will be putting out a call to action to all of our members this spring of 2021, so just right around the corner, and we will be updating our online directory with lots of fun pictures of all the different business, downtown Ocean Beach, Altair, Point Loma Avenue, the different business districts, and then making sure we have your most up-to-date information, up-to-date hours, and most importantly, I think our online directory is lacking social media handles. So again, that will go out through the mail, through email, through MailChimp, in several different ways, so we can make sure we get that information from you guys. There's also a member resources guide on our website that has a ton of COVID related resources, grants, just basically tier information and all of that. So we really encourage anybody to maybe check that out every once in a while, just to make sure you're kind of up to speed. Free special announcements. In our newsletter, you can send us information. We need it by the 20th of each month for it to go in on the 1st. So if you have a special announcement, just let us know and we'll make sure that gets in our newsletter. Just so you guys understand, the newsletter it just goes to our membership. So it's not going to the community. So if you want to communicate with the community through OBMA, we suggest that you send an email to member news, and I'll put this in the follow-up, membernews@oceanbeachsandiego.com, and we will send that information out through our Facebook account, which has 9,000 plus followers, and our posts reach anywhere, typical reach is anywhere from about 300 to 1,800, depending on the content. Newsletter inserts, if you provide OBMA with a high resolution PDF, we'll include that in our digital monthly newsletter. Again, we need that by the 20th. There is a small charge for that. And again, that's going out to OBMA members. So it's really letting like our membership know what's going on. Website advertising is, something we encourage everybody to at least look into. Right now we have 4 or 5 businesses that are advertising, and they get anywhere from 25 clicks to 100 clicks per month, just again, depending on the content. And our website receives about 40,000 views per month. Co-op advertising is available through the Beacon and Point Loma OB magazine. We have a partnership with them that gives our members a discounted rate to be featured in a prime location in both those publications. And last but not least, Sundowners. We hope to be back to Sundowners sooner than later, and we will keep you guys posted. If you guys have any questions, the OBMA office is open. We've remained open the entire time. We have not closed down. Currently, our office hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, but we're there longer. So feel free to call us or send myself, Tracy, or Jenny an email. And let me see about getting back to where I can see all you guys.